All right, Clint from the doorway too, hanging out with Pierric from I think it's Morgarten, is the way I'm going to say it. If my Americanizing, bastardizing way to say it is bad, then we'll talk about that in a minute. But thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it. Finally getting some time together. We've been trying to do this for a little bit and finally got all together. So very nice to meet you, first of all. Uh, I would love to talk a little bit about the two records and the differences that I hear before we go into more the band itself. So I heard Cry of the Lost first. That's what kind of brought me into your band. I went back and listened to Risen to Fight. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about them because there's a 6-year gap pretty much between the two records. And I think there's a pretty big difference in sound. So let's go on the first one first. I'm going to say that the first record has more of a kind of fantasy, kind of power metal vibe at times, where it does have that Viking and black metal elements, but I hear a lot of that kind of more power metal-esque, more fantasy metal kind of keyboards and elements. I kind of wanted to ask, when you first started as a band, was that more the direction you were going and then moving forward more towards that kind of black folk metal sound, or was it just where you were at that point in time?
Not really. It's funny that you have this feeling. No, we never wanted to do like more like to say power metal or so. We always were. I think we were more into the black vibe before than now. Now we add more with some clean voices and some death rhythms. So no, we were definitely more in the black metal part before. So that's
Gotcha.
quite funny if you feel that.
No, and that's all, and that's what I was talking about. Is there's definitely black metal elements more on the first record than the second record for sure, in my opinion as well. But I hear more of that kind of, it's, and this isn't a really positive way because I love this band. It's more of that Baal Sagoth kind of vibe is what I hear on the first record, where the keyboards play a really major role. Where on this record, which now I'm going to start talking about, Cry of the Lost, everything kind of is bigger, more epic. It's got more going on. The guitars are definitely more in the forefront. I hear bands like, just for instance, like Satyricon, Thurfing, like Mindsgarm. I'd even say like Ungener and like Skyclad mixed in all these different elements that you're doing now, where it's kind of more thick and full, and it adds that more kind of Viking metal, pagan metal elements into it. What made so from the first record to this one, I know it's been 6 years, so there's a lot of growth that's happened between then, but what made the album so much thicker, fuller, and more of a massive undertaking versus the first one?
Sorry, my connection is not so good, so I just didn't get your question.
It's not a problem. So yeah, so what's the major difference between this record and the first record itself? And that's simply just because this one's so much more thick, full, and epic sounding. So I kind of wanted to see where you were from the first record to this record, as far as the arrangements, the heavier guitars, things like that, the more varied vocal arrangements, things like that.
Yeah, so has been several years between them. So we got I think better in terms of arrangement. We maybe had the courage to put some different elements with the clean voices and so on. And for the sound itself, what made I think the major difference is really the studio where we did the mixing. So there, Jens Bogran made an incredible work on the sound. So I think he's the one who did this really difference with the guitars. So and of course the composition were really more mature, I would say, because the other album, it was really old songs. So one time we said, okay, we have all those old songs, we can put it on this album. And so I think we made really a lot of improvements over the years. So that makes also the difference, where I think all the instruments have more their place. So we hear less the keyboards, which are really present. So now the keyboards are still there, but really, in some parts, the guitar is there. So maybe we feel that all the instruments are more there and less there. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Absolutely. No, and I agree. It's way more balanced.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In that respect. And that's what I really do like. What I'd like to do is jump into a couple of tracks on the new record because there's a few of them that I really love and I'd love to know a little bit more about.
Yeah,
Uh,
fine.
Cool. So the first one's going to be Tales of My Land. And you got me with the bagpipes on that one. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat,
Yeah,
like
okay, thanks.
anytime I can hear kind of Celtic elements in a band, it wins my heart over. But can you talk a little bit about that one? Because that one's the first one where I kind of see a different direction for the band as far as other songs on the record, where it's a little more adventurous.
Yeah, so on that song, um, I don't know really what to say about it. It's our album is a concept album which tells a story over the song. So this one is the in the chronology. I mean, in the time of the history, the story. It's the first one. So it tells really the beginning of the story. So we wanted really to have this. This atmosphere which brings you in the beginning of an epic, some parts which are epic, some parts which makes you want to dream, and this is what we wanted to have. So we had this central part which was quite atmospheric with the storm, and then the bagpipes which comes, and then again the metal instruments. So that's what we wanted to put in this song, and the song talks about a bard who's singing songs, and the hero of the story is listening to the songs, and it reminds him the dreams he had inside him, the dreams to be a warrior, to be the great man, so that the bards sing his story. So that's what the story tells, and what we wanted to put into the music. So we found it quite interesting to have in the beginning the melody, which is brought by the guitar and the keyboards mainly, and then suddenly this is the bagpipes take the melody again, and then every instruments together. So we found it quite interesting to do it. So
Nice. Yeah, no, I love that song. That's the first one that really kind of caught my ear. The next one I want to talk about is Oath of Allegiance. And the reason why I want to talk about this one is, in my opinion, this song kind of has a mix of everything throughout your record. It's like if there was one song that I would play off this record, it would be this to someone to say, if you want to know what Morgarten is like, here you go. Like this is the pinnacle of it. And the reason why is there is this hook that you play that is the catchiest hook. And I swear to God, 2 days later, I'm humming it and I didn't even realize that I was humming that piece of the song. So there's this guitar riff that you guys just keep going back to that's phenomenal. Can you talk a little bit about that song and how that one was created?
well, yeah, it's really cool that you have this, you find this that this is the song which brought all the elements, because that's right that we have really various songs in the album. Some are really more in the atmospheric kind of black
Yes.
metal, some death metal, and this one is really, it's true. I think I never realized this, that these songs has kind of all those elements together. So yeah, this song was composed to tell a part of the story when the hero wants. In fact, he used to fight with the mercenaries, and he realized that if he continues to fight with the mercenaries, nobody will know about him because we don't remember about the mercenaries. So he go to meet a king to fight for him, and he come saying, okay, I'm a big warrior, take me into your army. And then he realized that the king doesn't want to know about what he did, but about who he is. So at first he's kind of disappointed with this reaction. So that's why we have this part in the center, which becomes fast and which will represent the feeling of the warrior. And then in the end, he realized that finally he can fight for the king, but not for the reasons he was thinking about first. So again, we have this epic feeling and this hope which come again in the end of the song. It's also funny with there is this clean voice part in the beginning and in the end, and in fact it's the other guitarist who composed this song, and he said, okay, I would like some clean voice in the beginning. So I remember once I was at his home and trying to do some clean voice on this part, and at first he was saying, okay, we could do something like what's the name, Vardrona.
Yeah.
You know. So I was trying something, but really, when I heard it, when I record something, it was, oh no, that's not really what's gonna work for this. And then suddenly we tried to do some not completely clean voice, but some kind of hybrid. And then suddenly there was something here, and even when we recorded, it's one part in the album I was not sure about how the voice sounded. But then when we received the first mix from the studio, it was okay. No, that's right, like this.
Nice. Very, very cool. Now, so there's two more songs that I want to talk about, and then we're going to go into some other things. But there's just really four songs that kind of drew me into the record and made me really love this. The next one is Dire Fight. And the reason why I like this song is you throw in these old 90s thrash metal riffs. And I don't even know if you realize it, but it is so infectious. It reminds me of all those great German and like San Francisco thrash metal bands. And it's probably the most aggressive song to me on the record. And I think that it's because it's a battle. You can literally listen to the lyrics and know that there's a war going on during it. Can you talk a little bit about that song, especially the guitar elements? Because on this one, the guitars are really different than any other song.
Yeah, that's right. On this one, the guitars are really less on the melody part, but really on to push the rhythm. So as you say, this one was composed to represent the battle, so it has to be fast to show the power and really to, I don't know how to say it, but to push forward always. And we have this rhythm to push always. So I think it's the first time we did that's the first time we did a song like this, and it's really fun to play because, I mean, it push forward, but when you play it, also you are taken with this movement. I mean, and it's really interesting also with this middle part of the song, because I think if all the song would be as in the beginning, I think we would be bored with it. At some point, it's not so interesting. I mean, there are some bands who do it for the whole song, but we like to have some differences and change in tempo. So we have this part in the middle, which really breaks this moment, and then it comes back at the end. So that was quite interesting. And in fact, I think the drummer was the one who was more skeptical in the beginning, because it's quite hard. you can play it, of course, but if you really want to be tight with the double kick and so on, the rhythm, it's quite hard to do it well. So in the beginning, he was okay. Could we reduce a little bit the tempo? So, no. This has to be like this. And now it's really cool. And also there are some parts. It's the other guitarist also who composed this song, and he wrote the drums. And in some parts, he wrote something, and the drummer was like, "Hey, it's not natural to play this. No drummer would do it like this." And then suddenly, when he plays it and hear it, it's like, okay, I could not find something better than this. It's really not usual, but okay, let's do it like this.
Good, yeah, and it works. So
Yeah.
phenomenal. That like I said, the last song I'm going to talk about is "The Last Breath," and the reason why I want to talk about this one is, I'm a heathen myself. I believe in Asatru, and that's the faith I follow. And when I listen to that song, it gives me a very kind of old world pagan heathen kind of vibe, and I just love the tonality on that song. Can you talk a little bit about the Last Breath?
So the last breath, yes, it's one of the old song. I mean, old song of the album. We played it live many times, but it really has something in it. I cannot really say what, but especially when we play it live, the atmosphere is really different in this song. First, with those kind of like monk singing almost in the beginning. In the beginning, we were calling this song "Winter Chapel."
Okay.
So express this kind of almost spiritual atmosphere. So this song, in fact, also it's at the end of the story. It's talking about when the warrior, he will die soon because he's kept in he's in a snowstorm, and he thinks, okay, now I will die, but I didn't realize anything which is meaningful, so maybe I did all of this for nothing. And that's what we wanted to express with this song, this kind of feeling that you are lost, you did nothing, and maybe everything you did is just for nothing. So this kind of there's no more hope. That's what we wanted to express with this song. And in fact, it's also the song which is represented on the cover of the album, with this warrior, which is who is one knee on the ground, almost at the end of his life. In the beginning, this song, "The Last Breath," was called "Cry of the Lost," but we could not find a name for the album. And finally said, okay, maybe the album should be named "Cry of the Lost," and then we changed the name of the song to "The Last Breath."
Okay. Oh, no, awesome. Thanks. Well, that's a great tie-in to the next question, or actually the next thoughts that I had, is Morgarten is very theatrical, not only in presentation, but artwork and just musically. What brought you to all this kind of element? Like, what brought you to this more Celtic kind of warrior, folksy kind of view of the music? Like, what brought you here?
That's old, so I have to remember what's there. But I think there are different elements. First, we always loved the Middle Age and this period, and we love to go to medieval festivals, that not with the metal and so on, but in castles, and everybody is wearing Middle Age clothes, and you have Middle Age medieval food and so on. So we always love this, and also when we were a teenager at that time, we listened to a band named Slechtvalk. I don't know if you ever heard of this band.
I have not.
It's a band who also was a little bit in this vibe. Who they are wearing also costumes on the scene. They are also doing instrumental I don't know, parts between the song and telling people some stories between the songs. So we love that band. I think they influenced us a little bit in the beginning, and we always thought that this is really, especially for the live performance, this makes really Morgarten different, because we are also wearing some clothes, medieval clothes on stage, but this is not only us who does this, but also we like to do really atmospheres with the keyboards and the drums, and then either me or the bassist, we tell stories, we tell the story of the songs, and we bring people really into the story we are telling, and also we try to make some parallels with also today's life, what we can learn from this story, and try to motivate people to also to well, yes, we do like call to fight, and as you can see sometimes in movies like Braveheart or so on, you know.
Awesome. No, very cool. Thank you so much for that. So I want to talk a little about where you're from. So Switzerland has a very unique metal history, and there's some really interesting bands that I love from there that are very unique in sound. You're one of them, and I really feel that there's something just about where you're from that kind of mixes these elements of unique tones. I mean, there's Creator, there's Coroner, there's Celtic Frost, there's Samael. There's even bands like Zeal and Order now that are doing like really interesting mixes into the metal and extreme world. Do you feel, being from such a smaller country that doesn't have a primary language, that it's broken up by pretty much just whichever corner of the world it touches, what language it speaks? Do you feel that makes it something a little more interesting, or is it just the culture of all those different nationalities and ideals coming in to make Switzerland what it is?
Well, I really don't know.
Okay.
I think, yeah, it depends really. I can't the bands, but I think our country influences us really in our music, because in Switzerland we have all this cliche with the mountains and so on, but I think really this plays a role, because we are often in really marvelous landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
When you are walking in the mountains, it's really something that's beautiful. I think it influences also how you see the world. This really, yes, I don't know really how to explain it, but I think that's something we want also to express in the music, how we perceive nature and the power of nature and the beauty of nature. And that's something probably in Switzerland we are often exposed to. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
But regarding the metal itself, I cannot say. I don't feel really like we are a big nation of metal. I would more think about Finland or Norway or some country like this. So I don't know.
No, that's fine, and that's fine. It's just there's always a unique guitar tone with any Swiss band I've ever heard. There's always a really unique vocal kind of arrangement, and they always have a common kind of thread and theme, where tonality and vocals kind of mix. So you're in a very cool place, like with bands that I'm talking about, and most of those bands I dearly love. So that's awesome. The next thing I just wanted to kind of ask was, is it drastically different? And because I'm not from there, I just need to know: is it drastically different for the French-speaking part versus the German-speaking part of Switzerland? Like, is it very culturally different, or is everybody just speak multiple languages and it's just really one unified nation now?
It depends. On some topics, it's almost the same. I think there is really the Swiss culture, I would say. But on some topics, we really see the difference between the French-speaking part and the German-speaking part. We are not really mixed together. We have often some contacts with the other part of the country. But yeah, I think both is right. We have separate culture on some topics. We really see we are not like the Swiss German. You cannot say to a French-speaking Swiss that he's the same as a German-speaking Swiss. This is not possible. But on the other way, also we are both Swiss. So on some topics it's the same. But we are not. Most of the people are not speaking we have 4 languages in Switzerland. We know more about French and German, but there's also an Italian part and a language which is talked only in the mountains, which is Romanche. I don't know how it is in English, but every part speaks its language. Some people are speaking several languages because they come from another part of Switzerland, but most of the people, they learn a little bit in at school the language, but yeah.
No, that's fair.
Usually it's easier to speak English than German for me, I would say.
I can understand. And I think that struggle with the different languages and still being one nation, it plays a lot into the music that you make too. You can kind of feel the multicultural, the different elements and different ideas that are happening there. So thank you for talking about that very much. The next thing I want to talk about is Inner Wound recordings. So until I pretty much heard you, I did not know anything about this record label at all. So how did you hook up with them? They seem to really be supporting you. They're doing a lot of different formats of the album for you. And it looks like that you're starting to get a pretty decent push. Kind of explain to us how you got in touch with them and, how do you feel they're doing so far?
Yeah, so as many times it was some luck to get in touch with them. So in fact, we are working with a guy from the Netherlands who is having a booking agency. So he's finding us some gigs in the Netherlands and Germany, and he knows really well the boss of Inner Wounds Recordings, which is based in Sweden. And one day he just asked to his friend, okay, would you like to help Morgarten? In the beginning, it was only for distribution, and so we started to talk with him. And finally, he said, okay, I will take you into my record. And then he really helped us to go one step forward. So, especially in the promotion and so everything. I think he really helped us. So that's how we got in contact with them, and they're really nice people.
Good. No, awesome. So is this a one record deal with them? You're going to work with them more? Is this going to be a continuation?
Yeah, for the moment, we only talk about this record. So let's see for the future.
Gotcha.
But now nothing has been fixed for the next records.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the artwork and the CD itself. So it's a 16-page booklet, and I'm sure it's pretty detailed to the story as well too. Was there a reason that you went so extravagant on the CD when most people today are either listening digitally or getting a vinyl record? What was the reason to go so extravagant on the CD?
Yeah, uh, I think we are. I don't know if we say this in English. Perfectionists.
Okay,
Uh,
perfectionists, gotcha.
Perfectionists. Yeah. So we really like to go into every detail and not to say, okay, this is not relevant, so let's keep the album. So we really like also to buy albums from other bands which looks good. Of course, the first thing we will do is put it on the computer and then listen on the computer or on the smartphone or so on. So of course it's like this today. But I know also that in the metal scene, people like still to have a physical album, and if the album is not is just a cover and a CD, then there's no reason why to buy an album. So that's why we wanted really to make this so that people have something more than to just to buy it digitally. And as we tell a story in the album, we really like to have those sketches which represent some parts of the story, and it brings also this kind of tale atmosphere. So you have the lyrics, and then you see the sketches. So we did something like this also on the first album. So we wanted to do it a little bit like this, but I think we are really proud of this one.
Awesome. No, I would be. Like I said, it looks phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal. I love the story that's going on with it. Has there been anything feedback wise that has just kind of blown you away, is that you did not expect in reviews and word of mouth? Is there anything that you just like with this record you just did not expect to hear or see?
Um, we had many really good reviews, so that's really encouraging for us. What was surprising is we have one song on this album which is Sons of Darkness, the fourth song of the album. Yeah, the fifth song, because this is the intro.
Yes.
It's the oldest song of the album, and if it was only me, I think I would not put it on the album, because that's one song we played many times, and I'm quite kind of bored with this song. But it fit in the story, and other member of the band they like this one. But I was like, okay, this one is not interesting compared to the other songs, and many reviews were thinking, oh. The key songs of the album are maybe Tales of My Lands and Son of Darkness. And I was like, what? Why Sons of Darkness? And we all love some songs that are often not mentioned. Like one song is Peaceful Soul of the Dying, the song 7 on this album. And I think this is really one song we love to play. And I think almost no review talk about this song, so that was funny.
Gotcha. No, absolutely. So I guess I'm just going to straight out ask, why 6 years between records? Like, what took? Why did it take so long to come out with the second full length?
Yeah, as I said before, we are perfectionists, and I think that's our way of working too. So the songs are composed either by the other guitarist or me, and we both compose every part. So when we bring one song to the band, it's fully finished with all the instruments and so on. So I think maybe it takes more time than if we work all together and doing the songs like this. So maybe that's one reason, and also um, we really want to go into every detail of the song. So this also takes quite a lot of time. And also, what made 6 years? We wanted to release this album already last year, but we got 1 year more because of the COVID. So
Gotcha.
that's also one reason. But we always were quite slow to compose songs and to finish our work. So yeah, that's long for us, but we don't have the feeling that we could have done faster. And also, we all have families and another work and many activities. So that's also to find a balance between all the parts of our lives makes this.
Perfect. No, that makes complete sense. So as far as live versus the record, what will people expect? Like, what's the difference? Like listening to the new record versus seeing it live. What should a fan expect?
Yeah, so I think live it's quite different. No, it's not quite different because the songs are the same. But we do, like I said, some parts between the songs where we tell the stories, where we bring atmospheres, and we want to introduce the sound, the songs, and bring really the people into the story we are telling. So we try really to make our live show like a bit like our album, but really like a travel, like a story, and so that people are brought into this from the beginning to the end of the live show. So I think that's what is quite different between the record and the live performance.
Okay, awesome. So let's say this was your last record ever. Okay, and you guys, this is it. This is your swan song. What would you want the legacy of Morgarten to be? Like after these records and these singles that you've done, what would you want people to remember you by and for?
Good question. I think that this aspect of the storytelling process I would like to say, okay, I would like that people remember that Morgarten has this atmosphere of the songs, which tells the story as well as the lyrics, for example, and that you can. I think if you hear the songs once or twice, you can just pass by this aspect. But when you hear it many times, I think each time you can hear some things more, some instruments that maybe you don't hear at the first hear. But and I would like people to remember this. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not really simple songs, but you can hear it and learn many things each time, and that there's this atmosphere and feelings that you can feel.
Awesome. That's very cool. So this is kind of the last question I ask a lot of bands, and I just, especially speaking to you, I'd love to get your feedback on this one. We've had a pretty interesting conversation, so I think this will be a pretty interesting commentary. If you could have anyone, so let's just say that Cry at a Loss was just finished, and you could have anybody either work or change or work with you to make the album sound a little bit different. Is there any band, artist, producer? Is there somebody you'd like to work with to either enhance or help out with the things that you feel, as you said, not everything was perfect on this record, but you're happy with the record? Who is there somebody you'd like to work with to try and change that and make it a better, stronger album?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think we are really, really proud of this album, and I could not think what we could have done better.
Gotcha.
So, and we always loved to work on our own. So even if some things could be better, it's the best we can do, and it's really ideas and our way of expressing what we want to express. So I don't know if somebody would change or bring something more in our songs, and I don't know if I would still feel it's completely our songs, you know. So
Understandable.
I would love to work with some people, maybe to do some tours or to have to push the album, but I think I would not change anything.
So what band would you like to tour with then? Like, is there a certain band you'd love to go out with?
Well, I think some bands like Ensiferum would be really awesome to play with, or maybe Winter Sun. Of course, that would be really great. We had the opportunity to play once with the Fintroll.
Nice.
So if we could do a tour with them, I think that would be really, really awesome. They are really nice guys, so it would be cool. And to have also the feedbacks of bands like this would be really interesting, I think.
Nice.
They hear the album and say, okay, I find this cool, or this is not really cool. That would be interesting, I think.
Nice. Will you be playing live at all? Are there shows upcoming?
Yeah, hopefully it seems we will be able to do again some live show. I don't know if people remember what it is, but we are trying now in Switzerland. It's opening a little bit again, so we are trying to do a release of the album in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we will get the authorization of the state, of the police, and so on. So there is this, and then in September we have a few shows in Switzerland, and then in November we have shows in Netherlands, Belgium, and yeah, slowly things start again to get in movement. So we are talking about also next year already. So we have some things ahead, and it's really motivating. And finally, we will maybe be able to go on stage again, because it's really what we like to, not only to show people our live show, but we like really to share this moment. When we play live, I don't have the feeling that we are more important than the people in front of us. We really like to share this moment, and we love to play. And if people love to what we play, then it's really nice, and we have a lot of fun together. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm glad after a year and a half, shows are starting to happen here too. I'm actually going to my very first show after 15 months on the 11th of this month. So I'm really excited to be able to go see live music again too. Trust me.
Yeah.
But Pierric, thank you so much for this. I really do appreciate it. It's been a blast to get to talk to you about the band, about the records, and about your thoughts on this. I will make sure that Bandcamp and your social medias are linked in this as well too, so people can kind of find the band and support you. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give you the next couple of minutes to kind of just talk about anything you'd like, anything that's coming up with the band, anything you'd like to kind of promote, for the next couple of months.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for example, shows we have now, we don't have many things really important, I would say, but what would be really important for us is to get the people to listen to this album and get their feedback, because we don't want just to have people saying, oh, it's great what we do, but it's always great to hear how people receive the album. So, and if people who like this album could share it, that would be really helpful for us. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have many more
That's
things to tell, but really thank you for this moment, and thank you for all what you do. It was really a great pleasure to share this moment with you and all people who will see this interview.
absolutely. Again, Clint from the Doorway too, hanging out with Pierric from Morgarten. Again, great record. I'll be listening to it a lot, and good luck on the next records and the tours that you're going to be having. And thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Bye.